Are you clear with the details? So if you are clear, please confirm. If you are clear, please confirm in the chat box. All right, good. So today's agenda, guys, we are going to implement one Spring Boot application with a payment gateway. Spring Boot application with payment gateway. The payment gateway that I am using is Razorpay. Nowadays, so many companies are using this Razorpay in order to collect the payments from the customers. So today we are going to develop one Spring Boot application using Razorpay as a payment gateway. Now, in order to develop this application, what are the prerequisites? What are the prerequisites? Okay, the first one is you should have some knowledge on Spring Boot. You should have knowledge on the Spring Boot. And next one, we are going to use data JPA in order to create the order, in order to update the order. We are going to use data JPA. And the next one, for the UI, I'm going to use Timeleaf for now. For UI, I'm going to use Timeleaf along with some basic JavaScript we are going to use to perform this payment gateway integration. Okay, and the most important thing, we need to create one account in the Razorpay website. If you want to collect the payments from the customers by using Razorpay, first you should create one account in the Razorpay. So these are the prerequisites. So you should have knowledge on Spring Boot, and you should know how to communicate with the database by using data JPA. And for the UI page, I will be using basic HTML with Timeleaf. And in that JavaScript functions we are going to write to open the Razorpay payment pages. Then in order to integrate with the Razorpay payment gateway, we should have the account in the Razorpay website. Okay, so I have already developed this application in my local for the demo purpose. So let me run this application. That means what we are going to develop in the today's session. First, I will show you a quick demo of that application. Then you will get the better clarity what we are going to develop. Okay, this is my Spring Boot application, which is already having payment gateway integration. Let me run this application, run as boot application. Okay, so in this application already, my payment gateway concept is integrated. I have configured Razorpay keys as well and my database properties as well. Okay, my application is getting started. Let me open my application page. Okay, so for this, it is going to run on the port number localhost :8080. Okay, this is a sample page that I have developed to give the demo of this Razorpay integration. One table is created in the table in the database. The table name is orders, guys. So whenever you place one order, that record will be inserted into orders table. Check the tables. Currently, there is only one table in the e-commerce database. Orders table is available. Select star from orders. So check it. Is there any record available? Currently in the orders table, there is no record available. My table is empty. Now, let me access my application now. Localhost :8080. One UI page I have created just to create the order. Okay. So Spring Boot with Razorpay integration. This is the application that we will develop today from the scratch. This application I'm showing you just for the demo purpose. Okay. So you will get the clarity what we are going to develop today. This is our Spring Boot application with Razorpay integration. So let me enter some details, my name, my email ID, my phone number, and some course amount that you want to pay. For example, I want to pay some 2,500. Now click on proceed to pay. So when I click on that button, one order will be created in our database. So currently there is no data available in the table. The moment when I click on this proceed to pay, one record will be inserted in the database table and the payment page will open. Okay, the Razorpay payment page is open. So if you see, as we are doing the development, I'm using test mode. This is for the developer testing whether payment gateway integration working or not. So as we are in the test mode, it is showing the test mode. We can make it as a live also. When you go for the Razorpay website, I created account in the Razorpay website. Live mode is available. Test mode is available. Live mode means direct payments will happen from your account. Test mode means which is used for developer testing. Currently, I have configured test mode here. That's why the label is coming as test mode. It is used for developer testing. So here you can select multiple options: net banking, card, wallet, EMI, pay later, whatever the option that you want to go. Suppose I'm selecting as net bank. Okay. When I select the net banking, it is asking that which bank you want to use, in which bank your account is available. Click on Axis Bank. Select something, some bank I'm selecting. Click on Pay Now. When you click on Pay Now, it will open banking page. As I have selected Axis Bank, it should open Axis Bank page. But currently, Axis Bank page is not opening because we are using test mode of the Razor. As I have configured test mode keys of the Razorpay in the application, test page is coming. This is for developer testing. So I want to test my code, how it is working when the payment is successful. If you click on the success button, that Razorpay will send you success response. If you click on failure button, Razorpay will send you failure transaction details. Okay. Now, if you configure the live credentials, then directly the payment page will open in order to do the actual payment. Now, currently, if I click on success, then what will happen? Whatever the order that is created now. So go to the table, one order got created, order status is created. Then if I go and change this as a success, the transaction will be completed successfully and it will be redirected to payment successful page. It is redirecting automatically. So automatically will be redirected and will display payment successful. Thank you. Your payment has been processed successfully. Order status got confirmed. If I click on go to home page, I will come back to the previous page. So earlier, when I click on proceed to payment, one order is created, order status is showing as paid. Now payment is successful. If I select the table data again, now you see order got confirmed. Okay, so like this, you can implement payment gateway in our Spring Boot application. This is a demo application which is already working. Okay, now we need to develop this kind of application from the scratch. With the live coding, we are going to develop this application so that you will understand how to integrate payment gateways in our Spring Boot application. Are you guys able to understand the demo? Are you guys able to understand the demo? What we are going to learn today? What we are going to learn today? Are you guys able to understand that demo? Spring Boot with a payment gateway integration. So which payment gateway we are using? Razorpay we are using. Okay, fine. Now here, when you are going for payment gateway integration, the very first step that you need to do is you need to create one account in the Razorpay website. It is free of cost only. You need to create the account in the Razorpay website, guys. You can create the account in the Razorpay website. Once the account is created in the Razorpay website, so you will configure your details like your bank account details in the accounts and settings. If you go to the settings option, there you will configure all your account details. So I have configured my details here, my mobile number, my email ID, my account details I have configured. That means when the customer has done the payment, payment will go to the Razorpay. From the Razorpay, we will get the amount to our bank account. So once you create the account, you can configure all your details in the Razorpay. And as part of the testing, we are going to use test mode. Live mode is available, test mode is available. As part of development, we are going to use test mode. So how to use that test mode? When you go for this test mode or live mode, you need to create access keys, guys. You need to create the access keys. Those access keys we need to configure in our application. When you want to make the integration, first you need to create the access keys in the Razorpay website. Okay, so let me go to test mode now. Once you select the test mode, there is the option in order to create the access keys. The website is loading. Okay, Here API keys option will be available. So there I will show you how to create the API keys. Now you can see you are in the test mode. I'm in the test mode. Payments in the test mode are sample. No real money will be deducted when you go for the test. Here right side menu is available. Can you check one option? API keys and plugins available. When you want to integrate with the application, you need to generate the API keys. So yesterday, I have already generated this API key and I have already downloaded this API keys also. Now, I want to generate the new key. Once you logged in into Razorpay website, you select the test mode, then go to API keys and plugins here and click on generate a new key option. So deactivate the old key immediately. I'll deactivate the old key in 24 hours. Already I have generated the keys yesterday for testing purpose. Now I'm creating new key. Old keys also I want to keep for next 24 hours. Confirm and deactivate. Okay. Now I have generated new keys, guys. Download and store your keys safely. If you leave or refresh this page, you cannot view the key secret again. Okay, so these are the keys that are generated, guys. So test key ID is available, test key secret is available. When you want to integrate with the payment gateway, this key ID and the key secret is required. Otherwise, you cannot integrate with your application. So let me click on download keys. The keys are downloaded here. The key secret, key ID and secret keys downloaded in the CSV form. Okay, now let me go to my downloads and let me check it. Razorpay key.csv file is downloaded. So let me open that file and let me show you the data which is available in that file. The file is getting opened. Yes, now you can see I got the key ID and I got the key secret also. This data we need to configure in our application. Then only integration will happen. Otherwise, integration cannot happen. So with this, I have created my first step. Okay. What is the step one, guys? Login into Razorpay account. Login into Razorpay website with your credentials. Okay. Then step two, generate API keys in test mode and download them. Generate API keys in the test mode and download them. This is my step two. We are good now. My Razorpay account is ready and my API keys also available. Now coming to step three. Now we need to start creating our Spring Boot application. Okay. Create Spring Boot application. So in this Spring Boot application, I will be using several dependencies, guys. I need one web page. So for this, I'm going to add web starter and I want to communicate with the database. So for this, I'm going to use data JPA starter. I'm using MySQL database. So I will use MySQL driver. And for the UI, I'm using TimeLeaf. So I will be adding TimeLeaf dependency also. And the DevTools dependency will be available. So these are the basic dependencies we are using. And the next one, to integrate with the Razorpay dependency we need to add. We need to add one dependency called Razorpay Java dependency will be available. So as of now, we have created our Spring Boot applications by using basic dependencies like web starter, which is used to develop a web application by using Spring Boot. Data JPA starter, which is used to communicate with the database. As we are using MySQL database, I'm configuring MySQL driver. For the UI, I'm adding TimeLeaf. And to reload the server changes, to restart the server when there is a code change, I'm using DevTools. Apart from these things, one extra dependency we are configuring, that is Razorpay Java dependency. So we need to communicate with the Razorpay to create the orders and to confirm the orders, right? So for that, we need to add one new dependency. That dependency is called Razorpay dependency. Razorpay dependency. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? What are the dependencies that are required to develop this application? Good. Let me go here and create one new project, guys. From the scratch, we are going to develop one Spring Boot application, file new, project. Okay. Understand guys carefully. This coding is very, very important. So line by line, we are going to develop and we will test this application today. So Spring Starter project we are going to create. That means we are going to create one Spring Boot application. For this Spring Boot application, you can give the name. Okay. So I'm going to give the name as Spring Boot Payment Gateway 100 underscore Spring Boot Payment App. Something like this. A new project I'm going to create Spring Boot Payment App, Maven, packaging type Java, packaging type jar, Java version 17, language is Java we are using. Next, select the dependencies. Okay, web dependency required, dev tools required, data JPA required, time leaf is required, MySQL driver is required. Fine. So we have selected all the required dependencies, web starter, data JPA, MySQL driver, time leaf, dev tools. Razorpay dependency, we cannot find out that here. Okay, so I'm searching for the Razorpay dependency, but it is not showing here. So we need to add the Razorpay dependency from outside. Okay, let me click on next. Right, click on finish. Okay, so these are the dependencies we have selected. Razor dependency not available. So let me go with this existing dependencies and let me click on finish. So with this one, new project is getting created. So where we can find for the dependencies, guys, where we can search for the dependencies we can identify in the mvnrepository.com. So let us go to mvnrepository.com and you search for the dependency. MVN repository is available. You search for the dependency. Okay. Now, so let me go here and type Razorpay-Java. I want to communicate with the Razorpay by using my Java application. I want to communicate with the Razorpay by using my Java application. So we need to search with the Razorpay-Java. Okay, it's taking time. Razorpay-Java. Click on search. MySQL connector Java, Razorpay Java dependency is available. Can you see this one? Razorpay Java is available. Official Java bindings for the Razorpay API. So if you want to communicate with the Razorpay from your Spring Boot application, then this dependency we need to configure in the pom.xml. Okay. So Razorpay Java version is available. Okay. So you can take this one and you can configure this dependency in your project. Okay, in the project pom.xml, we can configure this dependency. So let me select this dependency. Let me select this dependency. Copied. Go to our pom.xml. This is the new project that we created. Let me close the other projects which are available. Go to its pom.xml and configure that dependency. All right. After MySQL connector, I'm adding this dependency. Okay. Razorpay Java dependency I have added in the pom.xml. With this, our project is created. Now we need to create the required classes. Now we need to create the required classes like binding classes are required, controller classes are required, service classes are required. So we need to create required classes in order to develop our application. Okay, fine, good. So first go to our properties file. In the properties file, we are going to configure database properties and Razorpay keys also. Okay, data source properties we are going to configure and Razorpay keys also we are going to configure. So as we already discussed that, we are going to communicate with the MySQL database. So I will configure MySQL data source properties, database URL, database username, and database password that we are going to configure. Spring.datasource.user, spring.username password like this. I'm going to configure my data source properties here. MySQL database, so my username and password I'm configuring. And my database URL. So the database URL, I'm giving the database name as econ, which is already available in the MySQL. So this is my database username and my database password. Along with this, I'm going to configure DDL auto. If the table is not available, I want to create that table. Whatever the queries are generating, I want to display those queries also on the console. For that, show SQL property I'm writing. Next one. The most important thing here, Razorpay keys. We have already downloaded the key ID and the key secret, right? Let me configure them here. Razorpay dot key dot ID. Okay, you can give any name for this, right? Property, key and value. Next one, Razorpay dot key dot secret. Okay, so key will be key ID will be available, secret key will be available. Razorpay dot secret key, secret dot key. Okay, key ID and secret key I need to configure. Let me take that. We have downloaded that YM, that CSV file, right? From that CSV, let me copy those values. This is the key ID. Let me copy this again from this file. So whenever you generate the keys, you can download them, guys. So only one time you can download them. So we should be very careful when we are taking care of these keys. So I copied that key. I will add that key here. Yeah. So this is the test key. You can see test key is available. So real money will not be deducted when you are going for the test. If you go for the live mode, the real money will be deducted. Key secret I am copying. That's it. Okay. So this is very important thing that you need to configure Razorpay keys in our application. Data source properties available. MySQL database I want to use in our application, and Razorpay integration is required. That's why I have configured Razorpay key and Razorpay secret. Okay. So with this, project is created, configuration is also right. Now we need to start developing our classes. Okay. So I'm going to create one new class as a DTO class, data transfer class, as a order, student order. So I have shown you one form, right? From that form, I will get the data. That data I will insert in the database table also. Now, new class. So I'm taking one class with a name called student order. Let me keep it as a DTO class. The class name I'm taking as student order. Student order class I'm taking. This class I will represent as entity also to insert the data in the table. Entity and table. You can give any name for the table. For example, I'm taking it as student orders. Perfect. And I need some variables in this class, guys. So ID, name, email, phone number, course, amount, status, Razorpay ID, whatever the variables are required, we are going to take them. Integer, order ID, and private string, name of the student, and we are going to take email ID of the student, private string, phone number of the student, and private string for which course he is doing the payment, and what is the amount that he is paying, integer amount, and private string, what is the status of the order, private string, Razorpay order ID. Okay. Now, so our order ID is the primary key. When the order is created, Razorpay will send one order ID. I am going to take that order ID and I will maintain that in the database. Order status. Initially, order will be in the created state. Once the payment is completed, order will be successful. Order is pending and order is completed. If the payment is successful, I will update the order status as complete. Now, so I want to represent this as a primary key. For this, I'm using @ID annotation. Okay. So for table, one primary key is mandatory. I want to auto generate that value. For that, I'm using generated value. Strategy is equal to identity. Generation value strategy is equal to identity. Fine. If you have Lombok, you can configure @data. So currently I don't have Lombok, so I'm going to generate setters and getters. Okay, setters and getters generated, and you can print the data of the object also by using toString method. So with this, my entity class is ready, which is used to save the order data in the database table. So this data will come from the UI, guys. This data name, email, phone number, course, amount will come from the UI. When the new order comes, order status will be created. When the payment is completed, order status will be completed. Okay. Now, so for this entity, let me create one repository also to communicate with the table. A JPA repository I am going to create dot repo. So here I'm taking student order repo. So this will extend the properties from JPA repository, extends properties from JPA repository. So JPA repository will provide predefined methods for us in order to perform the operation. Student order is available, ID, data type of the primary key is integer and date. With this, my repository is also ready. With this, my repository is also ready. Next up, now I need to create a service that is a business logic. Basically, now I need to implement the business logic in order to perform the payment gateway integration. So this class is very important, guys. Service class that I'm going to create now. Here only the actual logic will be available for the payment. Okay. In that Ashok IT service. So I'm going to take this as a student service or payment service, anything. You can give any name for that. Taking this as a student service. So first I want to represent this class as a Spring Bean. To represent this as a Spring Bean, I'm going to use @service annotation. So this class I'm taking as a Spring Bean. So I'm representing this as @service annotation. Next one. I need to communicate with the database. So for that, let me inject my repository. Okay, student order repository is available. So I'm injecting the repository into this class by using auto. That's fine. Now I need to create the order. When the student submit the form for the payment, okay, I need to create one order in the table. Okay, for that I'm writing one method, public student order create order. I'm taking student order object as a parameter and same object I am returning. Okay, student order object is coming from. So now what I need to do, whatever the student order is coming for me, this order I need to create in the database, and after the payment is completed, I need to update the order also. I need to update the order also. In order to do this order creation, we need to communicate with the Razorpay. To communicate with the Razorpay, we need to take the Razorpay key and Razorpay secret. Private string Razorpay key is available and private string Razorpay secret is available. Where is that key and secret? Key and secret we configured in the file. Okay, the properties file is available, right? Application and properties file is available. So this key and this secret I need in order to communicate with the Razorpay API. So this is the property name and this is the property value. So by using this property name, we can get the property value by using one annotation @value field injection, guys. I want to take the value and I want to inject that value into this variable based on the property name. So if I use @value with this key, it will identify this key in the properties file. It will get the value of this property. It will store into this variable. Same thing I need to do for the secret also. For this, I'm going to take @value and this key also we need to configure. This key also we need to configure. Let me take this from the properties file, razorpay.secret.key. Okay, so I'm going to configure this key and secret. Are you guys able to understand what is the purpose of this @value annotation? Are you guys able to understand what is the purpose of this value annotation? Come on. What is the purpose of this value annotation? It is used to read the property which is available in the properties file. I want to read the property which is available in the properties file. So once we are able to read this, now you can create the order. You can create the order and you can communicate with the Razorpay also. You can create the order and you can communicate with the Razorpay. In order to communicate with the Razorpay here, we need to take one class called Razorpay client. Now, I want to communicate from my Spring Boot application to the Razorpay. For this, we need to take one predefined class, which is called Razorpay client class. So from which package we are getting the Razorpay client? com.razorpay.razorpay client. This is the predefined component of the Razorpay API. So how we are able to take this Razorpay client class? Because Razorpay dependency we have added. Okay, Razorpay dependency we have added. That's why we are taking this Razorpay client object. What is the purpose of this Razorpay client object? It is used to communicate with the Razorpay API to create the order. It is used to communicate with the Razorpay in order to create the order. Once this client is available, we need to create the order in the Razorpay by using this client. Client.orders. Client.orders will be available by using this client.orders.create. So we need to create the order in the Razorpay. This is the method which is used to create order in Razorpay. In order to create the order in the Razorpay, I'm taking Razorpay client object. Client.orders is available. Orders.create. Client.orders available. Orders.create. So create method is expecting some parameter. Create method is expecting some parameter. So what is the parameter it is expecting, guys? Now you check it. Can you see? It is having some checked exception. Let me handle this by using throws keyword. That's fine. Now, create method is there in the Razorpay client. Create method is available. Can you see the signature of the method? What it is expecting as the input? What it is expecting as the input, guys? It is expecting JSON object as the input. That means in order to create the order, we need to send some data. That the data we already got as a method parameter. Let me create that as a JSON object, org.json. JSON object I'm creating with the order request is equal to new JSON object. Okay. One JSON object is created. In this JSON object, I will set the data which is required to create the order in the region. Okay. So order request object is available. So in this order request, I will put the data, how much amount we want to collect from the customer, in which currency format we want to collect it, who is the receipt, what is the receipt of this customer, all those things we are going to specify. Here. Okay. For this, what we are going to do? So we are going to specify order request dot put key and value. Okay, first one, what is the amount that you want to collect? Okay, so in the student order, we are going to get the amount, order dot get amount multiplied by 100. So amount always you need to represent in the paisa. Okay, amount in paisa. Okay, 1 rupee is having 100 paisa. Okay, whenever you get the amount as 1 rupee, 1 multiplied by 100 paisa. For example, if you are paying 100 rupees, 100 multiplied by 100. So how much amount that you want to collect from the customer, that amount we need to pass in the form of paisa. So number of rupees multiplied by, okay. So this is the amount that I want to collect. In which currency format you want to collect? Order dot put key type currency. Okay. So I want to collect the amount from the customer in the INR format, Indian rupees. Okay. Currency I'm taking in the form of Indian rupees. Next one, order request dot put receipt. Okay. Now I want to specify the receipt of this order. So the receipt I will specify by using order dot get email. Order dot get email. So this is the data that I am sending to the Razorpay in order to create the order. So by using client I'm going to create the order. Client is not initialized as of now. Just to declare the client variable, I need to initialize the client in order to create the order. This dot client is equal to new Razorpay client. For the Razorpay client, I'm going to pass my Razorpay key and Razorpay secret. Okay. So whatever the key and secret we configured in the properties file, that key and secret we are reading by using @value annotation. We are reading that by using @value annotation. That key and secret I am passing to the client object. Then by using that client, I'm going to create the adder. Okay. I'm going to create the adder by using this client object. Okay. Client dot adders. Client dot adders dot create the adder by using adder request. Client dot adders dot create. I'm going to create the adder by using this adder request. Once I create the adder, it is going to give me the Razorpay adder created. Okay, whatever the customer data I'm getting, whatever the student data I'm getting, that student data I'm setting to one JSON object in the form of key and value. What is the amount? What is the currency? Who is the receiver? Who is the receiver of this order? Okay, so that JSON object I have created, that JSON object I am passing to a create method of the Razorpay client. First, I have initialized the Razorpay client by using Razorpay key and Razorpay secret. So once we create the order, Razorpay order will be created. Whatever the Razorpay order is created, that Razorpay order I will set into my student order. Whatever the student order that we got, right? So Razorpay order ID I will set to the student order. Student order dot set Razorpay ID. So Razorpay ID I'm going to get from the Razorpay order. I'm going to get it from Razorpay order dot get of ID. I will print the Razorpay order that we are getting. Razorpay order dot get ID. Then similarly, student order dot set order status. Initially, order status will be available as a create. So from the Razorpay order, I'm going to get that status also. So whenever you call order create method, one order will be created in our Razorpay account based on the keys we are passing. So once the order is created, I'm getting that order data and I'm setting to our student order. And finally, I'm going to save this order into our database. Student repository dot save of student order that we have received. I'm just storing this record into database table and I'm going to return the student order that we have received. Okay, so this is just to create the order. As of now, there is nothing related to payment processing here, guys. Whenever students submit the form, then this method will be called. What this method is going to do? This method just will create one order in the Razorpay website. So that order will have amount, order will have currency, order will have receipt. To create the order, I have taken Razorpay client object. Razorpay client object I have initialized by using Razorpay key and Razorpay secret. So with this, my order will be created. Once the order is created, I will be getting the Razorpay order details with ID, status, amount, and all the information. For now, let me just print it for our understanding purpose. Razorpay. I'm just printing the Razorpay order. From the Razorpay order, I'm getting the order ID, I'm getting the order status. Sir, what is the meaning of that order ID and order status? If you go to Razorpay dashboard, you can see that how the order will be created in the Razorpay. Okay, I'm opening my Razorpay dashboard and I will show you here. So if you go to the transactions, in the test mode, I'm going to the transactions and I will show you the orders I have created earlier. Now you can go to the order. Whenever you call that create method with the JSON request, one order will be created. This is the order ID. This is the order amount. How many times we have attempted to pay this order? Who is the receipt email ID when this order got created? So like this, one order object will be created, one order will be created, and this is the order ID. Razorpay order ID that I am going to get. Amount with this information, one order ID will be created. This order ID is required in order to do the payment. Directly payment will not happen. If you want to do any payment, first order should be created. Order ID is required. So in order to create the order in the Razorpay, this is the logic we have created. Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? What we are doing in this method? We have taken the Razorpay key and Razorpay secret from the properties file. With that key and secret, we created Razorpay client object. Using Razorpay client object, we are creating one order. To create the order, we are passing JSON object. In the JSON object, we kept amount, currency, and receipt. So once the Razorpay order is created, we will get the Razorpay order ID and we will get the Razorpay order status. That order ID and order status I am setting to my student order object, which is my entity, and I am saving the student order record into my database table. Are you guys clear? Are you guys clear with this method, guys? Whatever that we are writing. Is there any confusion? Is there any confusion, guys? No confusion. We are good. Now, so let me create one method in the controller. Let me go and create one method. My service method is ready, which is used to create the order, and the order information will be saved into my database table. Now let me create one controller class, new class. So I'm going to take this as in.Ashok IT, in.Ashok IT.controller. Okay. So I'm taking the controller name as student controller. I'm taking the controller class name as student controller. I'm going to take it as a normal controller, guys, because one UI page is also required to capture the data. I'm not taking as a REST controller. I'm taking as a normal controller. Okay. How to take this class as a normal controller? By using @controller annotation. I'm using @controller annotation. So in this controller, I need to inject my service. So for this, I'm taking private student service by using auto binary. Okay. So service object I have injected and I'm taking auto void annotation for this. Now I need to write one method which is used to open the page, UI page. So just I will write public void init, something like this. This is the method which will just return one index page. That's it. So @get mapping, I will map this to the URL pattern as /. Okay, string. I want to return index page, guys. That's a sample page that I want to return just to display the form to collect the student data. So I'm writing one init method. This method is returning index. That is the page name. Now let me create that page in the templates. A file with a name called index.html. New other file I need to create HTML file. So HTML option not available. So let me create a new file with a name called index.html. Click on finish. One file I have created. This file I want to develop by using Bootstrap. So let me get the Bootstrap content for this one. So let me go to Bootstrap website, get to bootstrap.com, get bootstrap.com. So I want to configure Bootstrap in this file. Okay. So go to the example docs of the Bootstrap. A simple page I want with the Bootstrap. So let me take this. Yeah, this will give you the Bootstrap syntax, the Bootstrap structure for our HTML. Okay. So this is my index.html page. In this page, I have configured Bootstrap. Okay. So in the Bootstrap, you can write one div with container and you can display the title, whatever that you want. Now, so I'm going to take one div, class is equal to container. Container div I'm taking. In that container div, I will keep my data. Right? Container div. Inside this, you can keep your title, Spring Boot with payment game. Spring Boot with payment gateway. That's it. So just one dummy HTML page I have created, and let us see really this page will be loading or not. Port number I have not configured, so 8080 is the default port number. Database properties I have configured. Ecom is my database name. In the ecom, what are the tables available? There is one table called orders. Now my table is student order. Okay, student orders table should be created. Let me run the application and check it is really working or not. Run as boot application. If it is working, then I will design the form to collect the data. I will design the form to collect the data if application is working. Yes, application is getting started. Perfect. Our database connection is successful. A table is also created in the database. It is a brand new table. Show tables. Yes, student orders table got created. Select star from student underscore orders. No data available, guys. Just now, a brand new table got created. Currently, there is no data. Fine. Let's stop this. Now I need a form to collect the data. Okay. So how we are going to collect the data? Name, email, phone number, course name, amount that you want to pay. I'm going to collect that information. So I'm going to design the form here, table, inside the table, tr, td, table row and table data. Okay, label name will be available and field will be available. So first one, I'm going to take name. Name I want to take as a text field, guys. So input to type is equal to text. Input type is equal to text. Then name, what is the field name? That is name only. And ID, I'm going to take ID also as a name. Right. So like this, we are going to take this one, and class is equal to bootstrap class. I will be using this as form control. The class I'm using as form control. This is one text field I'm taking for the name. Similarly, I will take one text field for the email, one text field for the phone number also. I hope you can write the same things like this. So one text field for the email, one text field for the phone number that I'm taking. Enter name, enter email, enter phone number. So this is name text field, this is email text field, and this is phone number text field. Similarly, I want to give one drop down, a basic HTML drop down, and in that drop down, course selection will be available and amount text field will be available. I'm giving option to enter the amount, guys. Generally in the application, amount will be fixed based on the order, but currently here I'm giving the amount also as a text field. Then I'm giving one button which is proceed to pay. So when you click that button, that order should be created. I'm giving one button. That button name is proceed to pay button. Just a dummy HTML form I have designed. Enter name is a text field. Enter email, text field. Enter phone number, text field is available. And select course is available. Select course is available. Course is a drop down, guys. I'm taking course as a drop down. Then amount I'm taking as a text field. And I have given one button called proceed to pay. So let me run the application and see. Let me run the application and see here the form is loading as expected or not. I'm running this project. Let us access the controller method which will return index page. Currently, what is there in the index page? The dummy logic is available in the index page. Okay. The dummy logic is available in the index page. Application started. Go to browser and let us access it. Localhost colon 8080 is our application port number. Localhost colon 8080. Init method I'm accessing, which will display the dummy form for us. Yes. Spring Boot with Razorpay, payment gateway, form is displayed, text fields data available, course is drop down, amount you can enter. When I click on this button, the request should go to my controller and it should create one order in the Razorpay and it has to return the order. Now, so how to take this order data? When the form is submitted, I want to capture this form data. Okay, here form is available. When the form is submitted, I want to take the form data and I want to create one order in the database. So for this, let me write one method, public response entity. Whatever the order we are creating, same order we are sending back, which is create order. So student order, the object, I'm coming from the form. So I'm going to take this student order as a parameter. All right, import the packages, response entity and student order. This method I will map to post request by using post mapping annotation. When the form is submitted, it will be coming as a post request. So this method I am mapping to post request by using post mapping annotation. At the rate post mapping, URL pattern, you can give anything. I'm giving the URL pattern as create order. This method will take the student order from the request body. Okay, form data is coming, right? So I'm using at the rate request body annotation to take that form data. Now this method URL pattern, I'm specifying that value is equal to create order. And after the logic is completed, this method will produce the data in the form of JSON. Okay, application JSON. How to provide direct response from the controller method? By using response body annotation. Controller plus response body is equal to REST controller, guys. Controller plus response body is equal to REST controller. So I want one method to display the UI page. I want one method to act like a REST controller method. So whenever you submit the button, order will be created and it will send order data as a direct response to the UI. So how to create that order? We have a service method. Simply let us call service dot create order. Service dot create order. It is going to return one order for us. It is going to return one order that is created in the Razorpay. That order I will store into my variable created order. Whatever the order is created, I'm getting this order and I'm going to return the same order to the UI in the form of response entity. Return new response entity, whatever the order that is created, HTTP status dot create. Okay, a new resource is created. So that's why I'm giving this as create. So whatever the order that you are submitting, that order will come and that order will be created here. So what we are doing in the create order method, we are converting that order data into a JSON request and we are communicating with the Razorpay by using Razorpay client. Whatever the Razorpay order is created, we are printing on the console. Razorpay order we are taking and we are storing into our table. Okay. Now let me run this. Let me run this in the debug mode. I want to test really the order is getting created in the Razorpay app. So let's open Razorpay dashboard also and let us verify really the order is getting created or not. Last order created today at 10:15 a.m. guys. 23 June at 10:50 a.m. my last order got created. Okay. Now I am going to create the new order. Now I am going to create the new order. Let's run this project in the debug mode and let us verify really our orders are creating or not. Debug as boot application. I'm running my Spring Boot application in the debug mode so that we can execute the code line by line and we can understand the execution flow. Application is getting started in the debug mode. In the controller, I kept a breakpoint. When the form is submitted, it will come to this controller method. we want to debug this method and we'll see how it is getting executed. Application is still getting started. Okay. Yeah. Fine, guys. So index page is also loaded. Application got terminated. What is the issue? Okay, port number already in use. So I think already it is running. Let me stop it and run it in the debug mode. Application already in the running mode. Port number issue. I have stopped it. Then debug as boot application. Guys, some people camera is switched on. Could you please switch off it? It is giving disturbance to other people. People, Madhavarao, Are Madhavarao, could you please switch off your camera? Because of your camera, other people are not able to see the screen properly. Could you switch off your camera? Are Madhavarao. Did you switch off your camera? Madhavarao. Yeah. So guys, so can you see my screen now? Is my screen visible? Our application is started in the debug mode. Now, let me create one adder in the Razorpay, guys. Application started, clear the screen. It is in the debug mode. I kept a breakpoint also. Let's go here and test it. Open this page. Okay. A sample page we developed by using HTML with Bootstrap. Now enter the details. I'm giving the details something like Charles mail ID, charles@gmail.com, Charles phone number, and course you want to join for Java. Amount you want to pay 500 rupees. Right. Click on proceed to pay option is available. So when you click on proceed to pay option, anything is happening, his request is going to the controller or the request is not going to the controller, guys. Our form is submitted or our form is not getting submitted. Our form is getting submitted or our form is not getting submitted. Our form is not getting submitted because I have taken it as a button. This is not a form, guys. Basically, just I have displayed some input fields. I displayed some input fields here, and there is no logic to submit this form. So when I do this button, when I click on this button, anything is happening or nothing is happening. When I click on this button, nothing is happening. When I click on this button, nothing is happening. Okay. So what we need to do, when you click on the button, we need to submit the data. We need to call this REST API. We need to call this REST API by submitting the form data. So to do this, I'm going to write some JavaScript code here in order to take the form data and submit that form data to the controller method as a JSON. Okay. Some JavaScript code I'm going to write here. Right. I'm taking a script tag. In this script tag, I'm going to take one asynchronous function. Okay, in the JavaScript, I'm writing one asynchronous function. So this is create order. This function name I'm giving as create order. Create order function I am taking. All right. So an asynchronous function I am writing, which is used to create the order. Now, so in order to create the order, I want to call one API. Before this, I'm going to write console.log order creation started. Order creation started. I'm writing one JavaScript asynchronous function in order to create the order. So to create the order, I'm going to use this JavaScript constant response, whatever the response, a await function I'm going to create in the JavaScript, and I will specify fetch the URL pattern. So what is the URL of our API endpoint? Localhost colon 8080 slash create order. I want to create this order. I want to create this order. Now, in order to create the order, I want to hit this URL. I want to hit this URL. What type of request you want to send to the server? I want to send the request as a post request. I want to send the request as a post request. Okay, method is a post, and data in the form of JSON that you need to set in the headers. Okay, in the headers, I'm going to specify the content that I'm going to send. The content type I'm going to specify as application/JSON. Whatever the form data is available, that form data I want to send in the form of JSON. Form data I want to send in the form of JSON. And body. So the data that I need to send in the form of JSON, for this I'm going to use JSON.stringify. So that means whatever the form data is available, I want to convert the JSON into string format. Okay. So now I am going to use this JSON stringify method in order to create a JSON with this one. Okay. So what data you want to send in the JSON? I want to send a name. Okay. That name I need to get it by using document.get element by ID. So what is the element ID that we have given? The element ID is the name only. Element ID is name only dot value. Okay. I want to get the name from where this form is available, which contains the ID name. Document.get element by ID. With this, I'm going to get that name here. That name I want to send the request body as a JSON. Same thing is applicable for email, amount, course. Name, email, amount, course, phone number. Okay. So let me take this email, the element by ID of email. Similarly, phone number, document.get element by ID of phone number. Similarly, course, document.get element by ID of course. Amount, document.get element by ID amount. If you see, for every field I have given the ID because of this only. Okay. And currency, I want to send the currency also. Currency we are going to send as a INR. It is a fixed value. I no need to take it from the user. I'm taking this fixed value as a INR. So for every element, there is a ID. By using this ID, I'm going to get that element data by using document.get element by ID. By using document.get element by ID, I'm going to take that data. So that data I want to submit. That data I want to submit here. Okay. Now, so if you observe, create order function is available. In this console.log order creation started. Await JavaScript fetch API I am using. I'm telling to access this API by sending post request with this header, with this body data. With this body data. So once it is completed, I want to wait for this response and I want to print that response. Okay. So whatever the response we got, let me take it as a order is equal to await, wait for that. And whatever the response we got, convert that response into JSON. Convert that response into JSON format. Okay. Then let me print this by using console.log order creation complete. Order creation completed. Let me print that order also. Whatever the order is created, console.log of order. Whatever the order is created, I'm printing that order. Console.log, the order got printing. The order I am printing. Are you able to understand? This is my JavaScript code So this is a function which is used to create the. Basically, what this JavaScript function is doing, it is taking the form data and it is going to send that form data to this API in the post request using content type as JSON. Now, when this order should be executed, guys, when this order should be executed, this order should be executed whenever I click the button. This is the button I have given proceed to pay. When I click this button, then this order should be executed. Okay. For this, I'm going to write a function document dot get element by ID. So whatever the button is available, the button ID, Razorpay button 1 I have given. Take this button ID and get element by ID of button dot on click. So when this button is clicked, then I want to call this function. I want to call this function when this button is clicked. Function of E. Okay. Now, so what I'm going to do, constant order is equal to await fetch order or create order. Whatever the method that we have, create order method, I'm going to call this function. I'm going to call this function. That's it. As of now, we are just writing button on click event. So when that button is clicked, this JavaScript function should be called. This function is calling our backend method, which is used to create the order and return the order. Whatever the order it is returning, I am printing that order on the browser console. Whatever the order is created, that order I'm printing on the browser console. Now, so first we will test this. If the order is getting created in the Razorpay, then we will see how to open the payment page. How to open the payment page we will see once this order got created. Are you guys able to understand what is the logic that we are writing in the JavaScript now? Are you guys able to understand the logic that we are writing in the JavaScript? When the button is clicked, I'm taking the form fields data, I'm sending to my controller method. My controller method will create the order in the Razorpay and will create the order in our database also. Are you able to follow this? Are you able to follow this? So what we have done now, just we have written one JavaScript function. What is the responsibility of the JavaScript function? Whenever I click proceed to pay button, it will send a request to the controller method with the form data. It will send a request to the controller method with the form data. What my controller is doing, my controller is calling the service method. What this service method is doing, it is creating the order in the Razorpay and it is inserting the order data into our database. And it is returning the order which is created. Currently, there is nothing related to payment. Just we are creating the order. That's now. Let us run this in the debug mode. Okay, go to the application, run as debug. I'm launching this application in the debug mode and let's verify. Application is getting started. Yes, application started, guys. Go to console. Yeah. Open our page. Still, it is getting ready. Yes, our page is ready. Good. Now, clear the console. I have a breakpoint in the controller method. Let us verify. So submit the form data. So I have taken this as Charles @gmail.com, some phone number, course, amount. Let me take it as 3,200. Click on proceed to pay. So when I click on proceed to pay, is it coming to the controller method? No, it is not coming to the controller method. So we need to see, is there any issue here? Okay. So inspect, check the browser console. Is there any problem? Document is not defined. Oh, so in the index.html line number 92, there is an error. My button is not getting clicked. Okay, when I click on the button, I'm getting some issue. So I think there is a spelling mistake in the document. Index.html page number, index.html line number 92. Go to index.html 92. Yes, spelling mistake is there. It is document. Right. So let me correct it. So browser console I opened to find out the issue. Now let me reload the page again. Yes, page is reloaded. Let me go for Charles. Charles email @gmail.com. Phone number, course, amount 2,800, something like this. Click on button. Now when I click on button, order creation started and the request is sent to our controller method. It is in the debug mode, guys. So we can debug the code and we can see student order. First to see order data is coming or not. Yes, we are getting the order data also. From the UI, we are getting the data to the our backend. Now order name Charles, email ID, phone number, course, amount is coming, status and Razorpay ID not available. Let me go inside the method, create order. Whatever the student order is available, I'm converting the student order data into JSON object. In the JSON object, I'm storing the amount, I'm storing the currency, and I'm storing the receipt also. Amount we are getting in the rupees, we need to convert that into paisa. Okay, amount, receipt. Now, line number 36 is very important. Razorpay client object I'm creating by using my key and secret. So in which Razorpay account the amount should be added. That's why for our Razorpay account, we need to generate the API keys. Those API keys we need to configure with the Razorpay client object. By using the Razorpay client object, we are going to call orders.create method, which is going to create the order in the Razorpay and it will generate the order ID. How much amount that the customer should pay, for that one order will be created. Orders.create. Okay. It will take time because whatever the JSON we prepared, we are giving the JSON object as the input for the create method. It should create the order and it should give the order. Okay, I got the Razorpay order. Amount 28, something like this we are getting. Okay, this is in the paisa format, guys. So this is the amount customer should pay. Amount paid 0. Okay, when this order is created and what is the amount due, currency, receipt, order ID. Okay, so all the status is created. So order is created in the Razorpay. You can see the order created in this here. Amount, paid amount 0. Status is just created. Order is created, but amount is not paid. And this is the order ID. I'm taking that order ID and I'm taking order status. I'm saving into my database table. Before saving in my database table, go to student orders table. So in the student orders table, currently no record is available. Now I'm calling save method. With this one, record will be inserted into our database table using JPA. Insert query will be generated to insert the record into table. Yes, insert into student orders. What record is inserted into our table. And I'm returning the order which is inserted back to the UI in the form of JSON. Check in the database. Earlier record is not available. Now one record will be available in the table. Charles record is available for the Java course. Order status is just created. This is the Razorpay order ID. Perfect. Good. So with this, our order got created, but payment page is not opening. Order creation completed, guys. Order creation completed. Order information is not printed on the browser. We will see. So with this, we are able to create the order in the Razorpay. Payment is not happened, just order got created. So let's go to the Razorpay dashboard and check the order creation. Really, we are able to create the order in the Razorpay order. Okay, check the orders. Now, Charles, 2,800 rupees, Indian rupees. Charles, just now at 11:23, the order is created. The status of the order is created. That means, am I able to communicate with the Razorpay by using our boot application now? Yes, order is created. Once order is created, what should happen? Immediately, payment page should open. But currently here, when the order is created, payment page is opening or payment page is not opening. When I click the button, order is created and it is storing in the database table. Okay. In the Razorpay also order is created. In our database also order is created. Immediately what we need to display to the customer when he click on proceed to pay? Immediately we need to display payment page. Immediately we need to display payment page. Payment page is not open. Now we need to open payment page. So to open the payment page, what are the changes we need to do? Go to index.html. So here, currently, I'm creating this order. Right? I need to open the payment page for that. Now, from this, I need to return the order. Okay, from this create order method, whatever the order we created, I'm returning the order from this method. With this order data, I need to open payment page, guys. With this order, I need to open payment page. In order to open the payment page, we need to use one script which is given by Razorpay, guys. Checkout page will be available. So this is the predefined JavaScript file that will be given by Razorpay people. So SRC, if you see checkout.razorpay.com v1 checkout.js, there is one JavaScript file given by the Razorpay people. So card validation, amount deduction, everything will be taken care by this JavaScript file, which is given by Razorpay. This is a JavaScript file we need to configure in our page. We are not going to develop this logic. Payment integration we are doing, amount deduction, payment page, etc. And scan the QR code. All that logic will be taken care by Razorpay people only. We need to add their JavaScript file in our page. We need to add their JavaScript file in our page. Once it is added, now I want to open payment page, guys. In order to open the payment page, we need to create one variable called options. Okay. In order to open the payment page, we need to send some data as an input. We need to send some data as an input. Okay. With that data, we are going to open that Razorpay page. New Razorpay. Okay. New Razorpay class will be available. For that, I am going to pass this options. Then whatever the Razorpay is available, Razorpay one dot open. Okay. It is going to open the payment page. Now prevent default. So by default, this should not be opened. I'm preventing the default one like this. Okay. So this is the, here I should write some logic. Pass options. Pass order details. Set the order details. Currently, I'm not setting any order details directly. I'm trying to open the Razorpay payment page. Let us see what will happen. Clear this screen. One order is already created. Let me create another order. This time I'm expecting payment page will open. Okay. Enter the details, name, email ID, course, amount, sum 230. Clear the console. So breakpoint is available. So this breakpoint I am disabling now. Directly order should be created. Click on proceed to pay. Order creation started. Order creation completed. So it is saying Razorpay is not defined. So we are getting one error. To open the payment page, it is saying Razorpay is not defined. So we need to define that Razorpay. So where we will define that Razorpay? For that we have added already that JavaScript file. Checkout.js file is already added. Order creation started. New Razorpay is available. That is the predefined that we added. I think this is a small. Okay. New Razorpay option. I'm creating the object for the Razorpay predefined class. Where it is available? It is available in their JavaScript file. With that, I am going to call open method. It will open the payment page for us. Let's try this. Clear the console. Click on proceed to pay again. Okay, I need to reload the page. Yeah, page is reloaded. It's loading now. Once the page is loaded, again I will submit another order. Enter email, course, amount. Click on proceed to pay. No key passed. Yes. Now, in order to open the Razorpay, what it is saying was you are not passing any key. So I can't open the payment page. So we need to pass our Razorpay key. So I told you for this Razorpay object, we need to pass some options. Currently, options are not available. One of the options that you need to supply is a key. Your Razorpay key is available, right? That key you need to supply. Where is that key available? In the properties file, I configured that key. So let me take this key. Let's configure this key in the options. We need to pass this key. Okay. This is the key. And the next one, we need to pass the amount also. How much amount it has to deduct? Amount we need to send. Amount already we got in the order. So I'm going to use order.amount. Okay. Then we need to specify the currency also. What is the currency that you want to use to deduct the money? The currency, I'm going to specify this as INR. And what is the name of the business? Who is collecting this amount? From the customer, who is collecting this amount? This amount is collecting by Ashok IT. That means the company who is collecting this amount. That company information you can specify. Company name, who are collecting the amount. Who is the business owner? The business owner name I'm going to specify. And the next one, description of the transaction. Okay. So you can specify course payment, any description that you can specify. Then order ID. So already we created the order, right? For which order the amount is getting collected. This is very important, guys. This is very important. So we created the order and the order ID got generated. That order ID we are storing in the Razorpay order ID. So first, before doing the payment, first we are creating one order in the Razorpay. This order ID is available. This order created. For this order, we need to collect the payment. So that order ID we need to configure here. When you are doing the payment, you need to specify order.Razorpay order ID. Okay. So in our class, we have already taken that as a Razorpay order ID. So this Razorpay order ID, we need to send in the options. Then only it will understand for which order we are taking the amount. And what is the receipt of this one? What is the receipt of this one? So receipt also we already configured in the order. Order dot receipt is available. Order dot receipt is available. So did I specify the receipt in the order? No, I think receipt is not available. So I will specify email as a receipt. Order dot email, I'm going to specify as a receipt. Okay, good. So with this, the Razorpay payment is going to open. Now for this one, if you want to fill some details, so pre-fill also you can specify. Okay, so I want to pre-fill some details in the form. So for this, we can specify the name, email, and contact. Okay, name, email, and phone number. You can specify to pre-fill when the payment page is open. I want to pre-fill these details. And I want to configure some theme for the payment also. Okay, so I can configure some theme. What is the color that you want to use in order to open this? I can configure some theme also for this. So this is the color code. You can change the color codes also. So these are the options we are sending to the Razorpay payment page. So whenever customer click on proceed to pay, so in the asynchronous manner, we are creating one order in the Razorpay with the form data. That order we are taking and that order data we are using in the variable here. And with that we are passing Razor with the variable we are created as options. The options we are passing to Razorpay object and we are calling Razorpay.open. So with this, our payment page should open. Let's try this. Go here. Now, so I refreshed it. Let's submit the data again. Click on amount, proceed to pay. So now, perfect. So with this, my order is created. My payment page is also open in the test mode. Currently, we configured test case. That's why the payment page is opened in the test mode. So let's try this once again. Go to 8080. Now enter the data, email ID, course, enter amount that you want to pay. Click on proceed to pay. When I click on proceed to pay, what will happen? Button is clicked. When the button is clicked, I'm telling to execute this asynchronous function. First, we will create the order. Then we will print the order on the console. With that order data, we are opening the Razorpay payment page. Okay. So now let me click on proceed to pay. So in the background, one order is created in the database, and in the Razorpay order is created, and in our database also that record is inserted. And click on net banking. Click on pay now. So it is opening the payment page. So as it is a test mode, success or failure. Do you want to see successful transaction or failure transaction? I'm clicking on success. So that means it will say payment is a success. Payment is successful, automatically it will be redirect. Payment is successful, automatically it will be closing the payment page. Now go to Razorpay dashboard and refresh the orders. You can see the order is created and order is paid. We have done the payment also. Now this is the 12,000 amount, order is paid. At 11:36 a.m., one order is created and order is paid. But in our database, so if you see, the order is not updated. Whatever the order is created, the order status is still showing as a created only. Once the order is created, I need to update that. Let me truncate this table, create the fresh order. Truncate table student orders. No data is available. My table is empty. Let me go back to this and create the order again. Now, so in the Razorpay dashboard, you can see the latest record is created. The latest order is created with 12,000 rupees. Now, enter the details, raju@gmail.com, phone number, select the course, Java, amount, let me give it as 300. 300 multiplied by 100, it will calculate. Click on proceed to pay. When I click on proceed to pay, one order will be created in the Razorpay, one order will be created in our database also, and the payment page is open. Now go to Razorpay dashboard, click on search. Now you see, with the 300 rupees, one order is created for the Raju. Order status is created. Go to database, select star from orders. So here, Raju order is created, order status is just created. Now, what we do is, we will enter the phone number that whatever you want to give and click on proceed. Enter a 10-digit number. Click on proceed. No, it is not taking this. Yeah, click on proceed. Now it is asking, do you want to scan the QR code or do you want to go for the net banking? Okay. So if you click on net banking, you can select it, or if you want to pay with the card, select the card. It will ask to enter your card details also. Card will be validated properly. Okay. Now select the net banking. So some Kotak Bank I'm selecting. Click on pay now. So it will try to open the payment as it is a test key. The key ID is a test key. That's why this page is coming. If you click on success, payment will be successful. Amount will not be deducted because I have configured the test key. Payment is successful. Automatically redirect. It will come back to our previous page. Now go to Razorpay dashboard. Raju payment completed. Raju has done the payment. Payment is complete. Okay. Raju record is paid. But what about the record in our database? In our database, the record is status is updated. Status is not updated. Record is updated or record is not updated. After payment is completed, we need to update the record, right? After payment is completed, we need to update the record, right? After payment is completed, we need to update the record. So how to update that record after payment is completed? That's where we are going to implement callback functionality. I need to tell to the Razorpay, once the payment is completed, I need to execute one callback function. So after payment is completed successfully, I need to execute one callback function. In that callback function, I need to update the status of the order in my database. I need to execute one callback function. So go to student controller. In the student controller, I will write one function as a callback function. That means once the payment is completed, maybe successful or maybe failure, I need to execute one function, one method in my code. That method should update the order record in the database table. So before going to do this order update, guys, a small announcement for you. So we are starting new Java real-time project batch from 27th June at 7 a.m. IST. So I will be the trainer for this batch. So this time we are going to develop the Java project by using e-commerce domain, by using Spring Boot with microservices for the backend, and front-end we are going to do by using Angular. So interested people can attend the free demo session. So the demo will be conducting on 27th June morning at 7 a.m. IST. Okay. So I will share the details to register for this free demo session also in our WhatsApp. Okay. So you can follow us in the WhatsApp channel. The new batch is going to start. The batch duration is 3 months of time. The batch duration is 3 months of time. This will be starting from coming 27 June at 7 a.m. I have given the link in the chat box. The interested people can register for the free demo session. Okay. New Java real-time project batch, morning at 7 a.m. it is going to start. You guys can attend the free demo session. In this, we are going to cover Linux and AWS cloud basics also. So 20 plus real-time tools we are going to learn as part of this project development. 2 mini projects we will develop to improve our coding skills. One e-commerce project we are going to develop. Backend with Spring Boot and microservices. Front-end we are going to develop by using Angular. Okay, good. Fine. Now, I hope you got the clarity. Next, let us see. I want to update the order, guys. I want to update the order. So to update the order, I need to write one function, one method, one callback function that I need to execute. When the order is created, I want to update the order. So let me go to student service. Let me write one method which is used to update the order. Okay. First, I will write one method in the service layer which is used to update the order. So which order I need to update? First, I need to get the order. Then I need to update the order. Okay. So I'm going to write one new method which is used to get the order public. So whatever the order that I'm going to update, okay, update order. So to update this order, I will be getting the Razorpay details. So whatever the order and the payment is completed, those options, that response payload, the Razorpay will give some response payload for me. That Razorpay payload I will use to identify the order ID. Based on the order ID, I'm going to update that order. Response payload I'm getting. In this response payload, Razorpay ID will be available. Razorpay ID will be available. Order ID will be available. Payment ID will be available. Using this, we can update the order. Okay. So first, from the response payload, I want to get the order details. Whatever the order is created, payment is completed. I need to get that information first. Response payload dot get. Okay. The Razorpay order ID will be available. Similarly, order ID, payment ID. Okay, this is response payload dot get order ID. Razorpay order ID. Razorpay order ID. I'm going to get with a key called Razorpay underscore order underscore. So with this order ID, I need to get the record from the table. Okay. How to get the record from the table? In the repository, I will write one find by method. Public student order find by Razorpay order ID. Okay. So I will be passing string order ID. So I'm writing one find by method to identify the order that we have created. Now with this order ID, I'm going to get the order record. So for this, I'm going to use student repository dot find by order ID. So with this, I'm going to get the order data. So with this order, I need to update the status. Order is available, right? Order dot set status. So order status complete. Payment completed basically. Order created. Okay, now I will be setting the status as payment complete. Then I will be calling this one student repo dot save by passing this order. Order is already created in the database. Just I am taking the order based on the ID and I am updating that order in the database. Only status I am going to update. So once the status is updated, we are going to get updated order, right? I will be returning that updated order object. So this is the method which is used to update the order. One method is used to create the order. One method I am using to update the order. Based on the response payload, I'm getting the Razorpay order ID. After the payment is completed, I want to call this method. This method will find the order record based on the Razorpay order ID. Then it is going to set the order status as payment completed, and we are going to update the order. Now go to controller. Inside the controller, I should write the callback method. What is this callback method? Callback method, after payment is completed successfully, my callback method should be executed. Okay. Public string handle payment callback. Now, so in the payment callback, I will get some response from the Razorpay in the form of map guys. That is my response payload. This response payload will come in the form of key and value. To capture this data, I will use request param. Now, as I'm getting the request param data in the form of a payload, I'm going to map it to post mapping. In the post mapping, I'm specifying handle payment callback. You can write any URL file. What I want to do with this payment callback, just I will call service dot update order by using this payload. That will return updated order for you. So after this, you can do some logic. I'm going to return a success page. I'm going to return a success page. Okay. Updated order, taking one success page. So whatever the response payload we are getting from the Razorpay after payment is completed, let me print that response for us. Let me print that response for us. System.out.println. I'm using the response payload here. Whatever the response payload is available, Razorpay will return some response after payment is completed. That response payload I'm printing on the console to understand. Just I'm printing that payload, then I'm going to update the order. Then I want to return a UI page called success page. So let me create one file with a name called success.html. After payment is completed, I need to update the order. After the order status is updated, I need to redirect the user to one success page by using success.html. This is basic HTML file only. Just it will display the status. Your payment is completed successfully. One dummy HTML page I am taking. In this HTML page, it will display a message as payment successful. Your order status confirmed. You will receive a notification email short. Just one dummy HTML page I created. So this method will be executed once the payment is completed successfully. This is a callback method. So who should call this method, guys? This method we are calling when the payment button is clicked. This method we are calling when the payment button is clicked. But what about the callback method? Callback method we should call or Razorpay should call. Who should call the callback method? This get mapping method, index method we are calling. We are accessing this method to load the form. When you click the button in the form, we are calling this method by using JavaScript asynchronous function. Then what about this callback method? We should call this callback method, or Razorpay should call this callback method. We should call the callback method. A Razorpay will call this callback method. Come on, guys. I need your response. We need to call this method. A Razorpay should call the callback method to update the order. Razorpay should call this callback method. Razorpay should call this callback. Are you clear with my point? So I need to tell to the Razorpay, hey Razorpay, after your payment is successful, you call my method, call callback method. Then my method will update the order. Okay. After the order is updated, it will return success page for the customer where the successful message will be displayed. So how to tell to the Razorpay to call my callback method? We need to pass the callback URL for the Razorpay. We need to tell to the Razorpay when we are opening the Razorpay payment page here, we need to tell callback URL for that. So here I'm going to set one option for the callback. Callback underscore URL. Callback underscore URL. What is the URL? Which method it should call? Localhost colon 8080 slash. What is the URL pattern? Handle payment callback. Let us configure this. Handle payment callback. So that means whenever you click on the button, whenever you click on proceed to pay button, then it will go and call this function, JavaScript on click function. When the button is clicked, it will call this function. In this function, I am calling one more function to create the order. Once the order is created, I'm printing the order on the console. Then I'm creating the options here. In the options, I'm setting what is our Razorpay key, what is the amount that we need to collect from the customer, in which currency we want to collect, who is collecting, who is the business owner, okay, what is the order ID for the amount collection in the Razorpay. Already this create order method will create the order. With this order ID, I want to collect the amount. Once the payment is completed, I want to redirect the user to this URL. I'm telling to the Razorpay, boss, once your payment process is completed successfully, you redirect the user to my given URL by sending the payment response. Okay. So once I created these options, then I'm passing those options to Razorpay object in the JavaScript file. So Razorpay JavaScript file I have added, right? You can find this URL in their website only. This is predefined JavaScript file. I have not developed this. This is given by Razorpay people only for the integration with the application. So in that Razorpay JavaScript file, one Razorpay class is available. For that class, we are passing all the options to collect the amount. Once the amount is collected, to which URL they need to redirect the customer also, I'm giving that URL. Then I'm calling Razorpay.open. This open method is going to open the Razorpay payment page. Okay. So in that callback URL, I'm taking the response payload. The response payload I'm printing on the console. From that response payload, I'm taking the order ID. That order ID, I'm finding the record in my database. Then I'm going to update the order status as payment complete. So this is the payment integration. Let's try this now. Let me start the project in the debug mode and let's check it. Really, order is getting updated or not after the payment is complete. Order is getting updated or not after the payment is completed. Let us verify. Application is getting started. Let me truncate the table. Guys, now do you understand why I configured test keys instead of configuring the real keys? Why I configured test keys? So many times we are testing, so many orders are creating in the Razorpay account. So when you are doing the development, this kind of test case we are going to use. Once the development is completed, then just we need to change the test case in the library. Okay, application started. Now go to here and bootstrap demo project. Open this page. Empty page will open. Form is ready. In my database, no records available. Select start from student orders. Table is empty. And go to Razorpay dashboard. You can see the orders which are created. Latest order created. Raju order created at 11:38. Raju order got created. Now time is almost 12. Okay, fine. Go to here, enter the details. Let me take the name as Sam. Sam@gmail.com. Phone number. Now select the course amount, for example, 20 rupees. Now click on proceed to pay. So when I click on proceed to pay, what will happen, guys? I think there is some error. Browser console. Yeah, no, there is no error. It's opening. Payment page is open. That means one record will be inserted in the database table. One order will be created in the database. Go to here, select the star from student orders. Check the order status. Order is created. Now go to our console. Yes, this is the order which is created. Record is inserted into our table. Clear the console. Let me complete the order. Select the dummy bank. Pay now. I want to make this transaction a success. If I click on success, automatically it will be redirected to the callback URL. So I have given the callback URL. In that method, I have taken the response. Perfect. Callback URL called, payment showing a successful. Check in the console. Yes. So once the payment is completed, this is the response we are getting. In the response, order ID is available. With that order ID, I identified the record in the database. That record order status I have updated. My update query also executed. Currently, SAM record order status is created. Now select this. SAM order status is saying as payment complete. So are we able to execute the callback method? Once the payment is completed, are we able to execute the callback method? Callback method is executed. What is the logic in the callback method? We are updating the order status as payment completed. Are you clear with my point? Can we try with one more order? Can we try with one more order, guys? SAM order is completed. Now let me go with the one more order. Now let me take the order as robot@gmail.com. Phone number, something, course, DevOps, price, some 850 rupees. Okay. Now go to the database, select the star from student orders. SAM record is already completed. Now I am creating the order for the robot. Click on proceed to pay. Yes, order is created. Payment page is opening. Okay, it is asking for the number. I have not given the correct number. That's why asking for the number. Now go to the table. Robot record. Status is just created. Status is just created. This is the Razorpay order ID. Now go here. Click on proceed. So select the net banking, Axis Bank, click on pay now. It is opening the page. Success or failure. If I click on success, transaction will be success. Callback function will be called. If I click on failure, the payment will be failed. Payment is failed. When the payment is failed, callback function will be called or callback function will not be called. If the payment is failed, callback URL is getting called or callback URL is not getting called. Not getting called. When the callback URL will be called? When the callback URL will be called? If the payment is successful. Where is that logic available to call the callback URL if the payment is successful? Don't call it if the callback, don't call it when the payment is failed. Is it our logic or Razorpay will take care of it? If a payment is successful, then only execute the callback URL. If a payment is failure, don't execute the callback URL. Who will take care of that? Razorpay. Where is the logic in that? Where is that logic available? We configured Razorpay JavaScript file, right? In that JavaScript file, that code is available. So that is not our code, guys. So in the index.html, I have added one JavaScript file related to Razorpay checkout.js. This is predefined. This is developed by Razorpay company. In this JavaScript, the logic is available. Card validation, card verification, deduct the amount, all those things. All those things. If a payment is successful, then only our callback URL will be executed to update that. If the payment is failed, this callback URL will not be called. You got my point? Now, as the payment is not successful, order status is still not updated. So robot order is still in the created state. It is not updated. Now let me try the payment for the robot order again. Net banking, Axis Bank, pay now. Click on success. If I click success, then they will consider payment is successful. If the payment is successful, then only it will be redirected to the callback URL. So what we are doing in the callback URL, we are updating the order. Earlier robot order is created. Now check the robot order. Robot order is payment complete. So you understand what is callback URL? How to pass the callback URL for the Razorpay people? Yes. So which method you want to execute? Once the payment is successful, you can set that as a callback URL in the options. Before opening the Razorpay screen, we are passing the options to the Razorpay. What is the order ID? For which order the payment is happening? What is the amount they have to deduct? What is the email ID? Now, once the payment is completed successfully, callback function is calling, right? So in this callback function, can I write the logic to send email to the customer? Okay, here send email. Java mail API you can implement. Someone is asking how to send the email to the customer. You can write the logic here to send the email. Razorpay will send the email by default. You don't need to do anything for that. Okay, so to send the email on your own, you can write the logic in the update order method. By default, Razorpay also will send the email when the payment is completed successfully. How the order ID is coming back to the callback URL. So whenever the callback URL is called, they will send the response payload in the form of key and value. You can see this response payload I'm printing, right? So callback URL they will call by passing the response payload. In the response payload, order ID will be available. Razorpay payment ID, Razorpay order ID, Razorpay signature. So this is the response payload we are getting. In the response payload, order ID will be available. With the order ID, I'm finding the order available in the table and I'm updating the order status for that record. So whenever we configure callback URL, they are calling this URL, not blind URL. They are calling this URL by passing the response payload. Razorpay order ID, Razorpay payment ID, they will send in the form of key and value. With the key and value, I'm taking the order ID, I'm updating the status of that particular order. Ravi Varma, you got the concept. How the order ID is coming back. Razorpay is sending as a payload. The payload I'm taking as a method parameter in the form of map, key and value. Guys, do you like this demo? How to integrate payment gateway in our Spring Boot application? You got the clarity now? Guys, you got the clarity how payment processing will happen in the Java applications? If a payment is failed, we don't need to do anything. If payment is failed, we don't need to do anything. Razorpay will charge 2 rupees from the business owner, guys. For every transaction, 2% amount will be deducted from the business owner, not from the customer. Now you are paying 1000 rupees as a course amount in the Razorpay, right? In the 1000 rupees, 2 rupees will be taken care by Razorpay as part of handling charges. Under Razorpay, so if we configure the real keys, now I configure the test keys, right? So if you go to the live mode, my live keys will be available. If I configure the live keys, then the real money will be deducted. So once the real money is deducted, first amount will go to the Razorpay bank account. For every 24 hours, Razorpay will do the settlement. So you will configure your bank account in the Razorpay, right? So for every 24 hours, they will do the settlement and they will send the amount to your bank account and they will deduct 2% of the amount, handling charges. So as they are taking the amount, they are giving the amount to you, they will charge 2 rupees from you. I mean, not 2 rupees, 2% basically. So for every transaction, they will charge 2%. 2% they will deduct, the remaining amount they will send it to your bank. How to generate the live keys to do the live payments? So go to API keys here. What is the change I need to do to make the live payment now? Live key I need to configure. This is my live key ID. My live key secret is available. So we need to configure the live key and live secret in the properties file. Here test keys are available, right? I need to configure the live key and live secret. In the index.html also, whatever the key is available, right? Test key is available. It's also live key we need to configure. Then the real money payment will happen. Okay? Perfect, guys. Thank you. I hope today you learned one new concept. If you use QR code or net banking or debit card, whatever the option you can choose, the Razorpay will handle that part. And once the payment is successful, then it will send the response back to the callback URL. Shubham Sharma. So you try this payment, email will be sent by the Razorpay only. We no need to send any email after the payment. Razorpay people will send the email after payment is successful. Whatever the given mail ID we have given, they will take care of this. Okay. And the next weekend, guys, we are going to conduct another workshop, how to integrate WhatsApp Business API with the Spring Boot application. How to send the message to the WhatsApp from our Spring Boot application, that we are going to discuss on the next slide. Okay. Good. So this video and this notes, this example, I will store in the GitHub. That GitHub I will link I will share in our WhatsApp channel. WhatsApp channel link I have given in the chat box. I request all of you to follow that WhatsApp channel so that you will get today's class video, today's class example. Thank you so much, guys. The people who are watching in the YouTube, so please like the video and comment your opinion on the video. So next week I will come up with one more workshop. In the next workshop, I will show you Spring Boot with WhatsApp integration. How to send the messages to the WhatsApp directly from our Spring Boot application. WhatsApp Business API is available, that I will explain. Okay, good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.